In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to crochet the African flower hexagon. Really lovely little motif. It's attractive on the back as well as the front if you wanted to use it for clothing. Great one for using for blankets or if you want to make bags. Really pretty stitch. The colours you choose will obviously emphasise the pattern even further, but you could also make this with a single coloured yarn depending what you wanted to do with your project. So let's have a look at the tutorial. So for this tutorial I'm using 4 different colours of yarn. These are the Shape Years Katona, sorry. So I have a yellow and a pink for doing the flower, white for doing the edge of the flower, and then blue for doing the outside of the hexagon. I also have a 3.5mm crochet hook. You can choose whichever yarn you'd like to use with a corresponding size crochet hook. I have scissors to cut off my end, needle to sew in my ends, and a stitch marker just in case I need one if the doorbell goes. So we're going to start off by making a magic circle or a magic ring. I'll put a link in the cards up here to a video I have on different ways to do this. You can do this in whichever way you prefer. I prefer to make a loop and bring a loop through. And throughout this round we need to make sure that we are crocheting over this tail and the loop that we've just created. So to start off, I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2 and 3. That chain 3 counts as a treble, or in US terms a double. Going to do another treble into the circle, so yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, 3 loops on my hook, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. Then going to chain 1. I'm going to make 2 more trebles into the circle, so yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2, that's 1, yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2, and that's the second part, chain 1, and in total we want to have 6 of these 2 trebles with the chain 1 between them. So let's start the third one, and chain 1, and if you find you're running out of tail you can just pull gently to make that a little bit longer and we can work on. So we're halfway through, so that's 1 set, 2 set, 3 sets, so another 2 trebles, 1 and 2 and chain 1 and another 2, 1 and 2 and chain 1, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so we need to do 1 more set, so 2 trebles, 1 treble, 2 trebles, and we're going to do the chain 1, pull on our tail slightly to close that ring. We don't want to close it completely, and then we're going to slip stitch into the top of the 3 chain that we started off with. So 1, 2, 3, we're going to do a slip stitch into the top of that 3 chain, and then we're going to fasten off, so yarn over and pull through your loop, and then cut the working yarn. Just tighten that up, and there we have our circle. Now you might want to tighten that up a little bit more, entirely up to you, but we want to try and keep it fairly loose. So for round 2 then we're going to start with our second colour, and I've chosen pink for my second colour. What you need to do is to just pop your hook through any of the 1 chain spaces. I like to make a slip knot, but you can change colour in whichever way you prefer. So I like to make a slip knot, pull it through, and then I'm ready to start work. So to start this round then, I'm going to chain 3. So 1, 2 and 3, and I can tighten that tail up a little bit. That 3 chain counts as a treble. I'm going to do another treble into the same chain space, and I'm going to chain 1. And now I'm going to do another 2 trebles into the same chain space. So that's 1 and 2, oops, do that one again, and 2. I'll just get this tail out of the way. We're then going to chain 1, and we're going to skip to the next chain space, and we're going to do 2 trebles. Remember, they are doubles in US, so 1 and 2, chain 1 and another 2 trebles into the same chain space, 1 and 2. Chain 1 to travel us over the next set, and we're going to do the same here. So 2 trebles, chain 1, 2 trebles, chain 1, skip to the next chain space. So continue this way all the way around your circle, and I shall see you just as we get to the end over here. So pause the video now. So I'm just completing my final 2 trebles, 1 and 2, going to chain 1, and we're going to slip stitch into the top of the 3 chain from the start of the round, and that closes up round 2 for us. Now we're going to slip stitch into the chain space between these little clusters here. So we're not changing colour on this round, we're going to make our petals bigger. So insert into the chain space and pull through a loop, and then pull through the one on your hook just to travel over to the space. We're then going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and that 3 chain again counts as a treble. We're now going to put 6 more trebles into the same chain space. So yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. So that's 1 and 2. Remember, these are doubles in US. 3 and 4, 5 and 6, and they're all going into that same chain space. We're then going to chain 1, and we're going to skip these 2 trebles here, skip this chain space and skip the next 2 trebles, and work into that chain space between, if we like, the clusters here. So we worked between the clusters, we're going to skip to the next cluster, and we're going to put in 7 trebles. So we did 6 here, but that chain 3 counts as a treble, so there are 7 in total. So yarn over, insert, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Chain 1, skip the 2 trebles, skip the chain space, skip 2 trebles, and working in between these 2 clusters here, going to do another 7, and we're going to do that all the way around until we get to the end here. So pause the video now whilst you work your way around. Remember to go between the treble clusters and not the one between the sets, so in the middle of the set. So pause the video now whilst you work up your 7 trebles into each chain space, and I shall see you in a moment. So just coming up to my last treble of my last set of 7, going to chain 1, skip over these sets and the chain space, and we're going to do a slip stitch into the top of the chain 3 from the previous round. Sorry, from the beginning of the round. Yarn over, pull through because we're going to change colour for the next round, and then slip off your ends. So for round 4 then, we're going to join in the second round, so the first of my pink rounds here, in the 1 chain space that hasn't been worked. So we've worked into these 1 chain spaces, we're now going to work into the unworked ones. So I'm going to make a slip knot with my new colour. Again, you can join your yarn in whichever way you prefer. Insert my hook into the second round. Just going to tighten that up, and I'm going to make 1 chain to tighten it, and then I'm going to do 2 more, 1, 2, because this is going to be a treble. I'm now going to do 7 double crochets or single crochets in the US into the tops of the next 7 stitches. Remembering to do this first one here, don't forget this one here. So 1 double crochet, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. We're now back at that chain space that isn't worked. We're going to work a treble into this chain space here. So I'm going to yarn over, insert my hook into the chain space, yarn over and pull up a loop. So have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. Then going to do another 7 double crochets. Remembering to work in that very first one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Then we're going to do a treble into here, so yarn over into the chain space in round 2, yarn over and pull through a loop, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. Then we're going to do our 7 double crochets, and then we're going to do another treble in the chain space, and we continue that way all the way around until we get to the end. So pause the video and I shall join you somewhere around here. So pause the video now. I'm just coming up to my last double crochet, and then we're going to slip stitch into the top of that 3 chain just to finish off this round, yarn over and fasten off. And there we have round 4 complete. And you can sort of see it starting to form the hexagon shape already. So we're going to choose our new colour, and this is the last of our 4 colours. So again, you can join your colours in whichever way you prefer. So I'm making a slip knot, and we're going to join to any of the trebles from the previous round. So I'm just going to pop my stitch marker in. So where you have a stitch here, the little bit before belongs to this stitch. So you don't want to put it in here because that belongs to the double crochet. So just in here belongs to that treble. So I've inserted my hook, pop my slip stitch on there, sorry, my slip knot, and just pull up a loop, and I'm going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. That chain 3 counts as a treble as it has done throughout the rest of the piece. Then I'm going to do a treble in the next 3 stitches. So yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through 2, through 2, so that's 1 and 2 and 3, and we've now arrived at our first corner of our hexagon. So in the corner we're going to, in the next stitch, do 1 treble, chain 1, and then do another treble in the same stitch. And you can see how that sort of starts taking you around to the next corner, sorry, to the next side. We're then going to do 7 trebles, including into the treble from the previous round, all the way along here. So 1 treble, 2 trebles, 3, 4 into the treble from round 4, 5 trebles, 6 trebles, and 7 trebles. Go on. Here we go. And we've now arrived at another corner. So our corner cluster is 1 treble, chain 1, and 1 treble in the same stitch. Then going to do a side of 7 trebles. Remember, these trebles are double crochet in US. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now we're on our next corner, and our corner is treble, chain 1, and treble again, and then we repeat. So we do 7 trebles, then we do our corner cluster of treble, chain 1, treble, then we do another side and another corner, another side and a corner. So pause the video now till you get to your last corner, and I shall show you what to do to finish off the round. So pause the video now. So I've just done my last corner, and I have 3 more trebles left to do to finish off. So we started with the chain 3, which counts as a treble, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, so 3 more left makes the 7 for the side. So just going to pop those 3 in there. 1, 2, and 3, and then I'm going to slip stitch into the top of that 3 chain and fasten off. Now all I have to do is sew in the ends. So there we have it, our African flower hexagon. Been a good girl, sewn in all my ends. Very pretty stitch. I think it helps when you use lots of nice pretty colours as well. It really makes it pop out. I'd be interested to know what it looks like if you just did it in one colour. I still think it would look pretty. It's a very attractive stitch. and obviously then you can join them together. Hexagons will tessellate together, so you can make blankets or bags or any other things. Anything you would use a granny square for, you could use a granny hexagon for. So that's how to do the African flower hexagon. At the end of this video I shall pop a link on the screen for how to do the square version of this flower as well, just in case you missed that when I posted that one before. So you have the hexagon and the square. If you've enjoyed this tutorial, please give it a thumbs up. It really does help YouTube to show it to other crocheters. If you've enjoyed seeing my stitch marker today, this is my little pink flower resin stitch marker, which is available in my website shop and also on Etsy if you prefer to shop that way. There are lots and lots of crochet and fibre art related items in my shops, in both of the shops, so please do go and have a look. I'll pop a link in the description for you to get the direct link to go there, and shopping with me will help to support this channel and help keep it going for as long as possible. If you haven't subscribed already, please feel free to do so. It is free and you can unsubscribe at any time if you decide it's not for you. I share lots of stitch tutorial videos and other crochet related videos throughout the year, so please, it would be lovely to have you as part of our community. So let me know in the comments what you think you might make with your African flower hexagon, and I look forward to hearing from you. I shall put two videos on the side of the screen. One will be for the granny, not the granny square, for the African flower square, and I'll also put my granny square playlist probably on the bottom one here, so that you can look at how to block your work, how to do different joining methods for any type of square. They will also work for the hexagon too. So thank you very much for joining me. I really hope you enjoyed it, and happy hooking!